Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Malone Downloader Kayak Carrier here on our 2021 Nissan Rogue. Now, if you're looking at a way of getting those kayaks to the trails with you or to the lake and to where you want to go, this is going to be a great option. As you can see, it is doing a good job of holding this big kayak up on here with no problem at all. A couple of advantages you're getting from the Downloader right out of the gate. I am a pretty okay fan with these straps that are included. I actually like the cam buckle system. That definitely works. There's a couple issues I have with it. One of the things, you aren't having any kind of tie down point for your extra strappage, so keep in mind you might want a way of starting to secure this, whether it be a ponytail or a hair tie or something like that to start holding it in, can start doing the effort. However, I might recommend picking up the eTrailer tie down kit. Gonna give you a lot more tie down capability for our carrier. However, the carrier itself is doing an excellent job of holding our kayak up on there. One big thing I am a fan of is this kind of plate at the front here. What that's great for, if I'm getting these heavy kayaks up in here, I can throw them right here and start sliding them forward on this Downloader, especially for these bigger guys like so, can really start being a lifesaver for ourselves. The 75-pound capacity too, the Downloader is going to be doing a good job of getting those bigger kayaks up on there with no trouble at all. As you can see, it is nice and secure. We do have included anchor and bow tie downs, as you'll notice as well, and those are just hooked in by some simple little S hooks that will break down just in a little bit. Now the bow and stern straps do come with just the simple little S hook for ourselves. Now they do work great if you have a great little frame contact part like our Rogue does here. You can see it's a little finicky to get in there. As long as you have a good contact for those, they do a pretty good job. However, I might recommend again that eTrailer tie down kit that you can pick up from the kayaks, and what that does, it's going to give us a dog bone anchor. And what those guys are, they're just a little foam blocker that do a really good job of just slotting underneath our hood. That way we don't have to find any pesky little angles to grab and we're not damaging the inside of our vehicle. To give you guys an idea of how we have this installed, we just have our two loops going around the back post of our Downloader here, going around the top and cinching in, making sure all of our pressure is pushing up against our carrier. I'm a pretty good fan of this strap. As I mentioned, I just like the little covering in the back here. It does a pretty decent job. Now the buckle itself isn't anything to write home about, but it is doing a good job of making sure that this won't come undone. Can be very easy to tighten that down too to make sure we are nice and tight. But to take it off, all we have to do, press on that lever. Gonna start releasing that cam, as you can see, allowing our strap to come through. And then we can just walk through the rest of our strip through. We have it set through, we pull down, we go through the kind of inside of that loader, coming through the out of this plate and tightening down. So as you can imagine, it's gonna be quick and easy to start zipping these guys through. And we can go ahead and just start setting that guy off to the side and repeating the process on the other end. So since our kayak is a little bit taller, I don't want to toss that buckle and have it crash on our roof. So I'm just going to come to the other side, kind of gently grab it. And this gives you guys a pretty good idea of what we had going on. So as you can see, we want both those straps going through that and around our kayak. I just recommend if you have a very tall kayak like this one like we have today, just get in the back here. We don't want that cam buckle popping down, causing any damage to our roof. Let's make sure we also are taking off our bow and stern straps, make that dismount just a little easier. So you guys can see, one thing I want to point off, with even our hatch open, our kayak is sitting up well and out of the way. Now keep in mind that might depend a little bit on your kayak and just exactly where you have your roof rack system, but I did want to give you guys a quick little look and see that it does fit with our hatch open. Now that we have all our straps off, our next step is just to take the kayak off. Now this can be a little daunting, you can see how big it is, but all I really want to do is kind of shift that, allow that top to rotate towards me. And then one thing you can start doing is really utilizing this carrier, right? You can see in that back end, it will have a little bit of an edge. So we can go ahead, kind of get it up on that Downloader and swing it off and away. Taking a look at the Downloader itself, you can see we are having a little bit of padding on the inside here. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the padding. It definitely does do a good job. I've just seen a little bit better on some of the other carriers. So if that's primarily what you're working about or worrying about, protecting your kayak, this is going to do a base very good job. Yes, however, it just has this a bit harder material on the bottom sections here. It doesn't really have any kind of shock absorption that you might see in some of the more kind of flexible rubber ones. However, still very useful here. And I am a very very big fan of the downloader's kind of front mounting plate. Makes really, like, as you saw, that dismount and mounting that much easier for ourselves. We're gonna weigh on the inside of these arms. You are gonna see these Malone covers. Now these can be taken off. There's some hook and loop technology to hold those on there. You can see a little bit foam padding underneath. That's gonna make it nice if we do need to clean these. I think these would get a little waterlogged if we didn't have these kind of like Malone covers on the front of them. So I definitely recommend keeping them on. Nice that we can just peel them off and give them a quick wash too if you have any kind of mud or kind of debris buildup. And a big thing that I am a fan of, and I know it's kind of simple, is just this little plastic topper at the top here. Now again, you saw that those straps did a good job of holding themselves up on there. You might have a little bit more issue for some of those other kayak carriers without this plastic attachment, so it is a very big advantage for the downloader. Now, as well as you can see, we do have these teeth on the bottom. These are gonna allow us to actually rotate and collapse our J-style position. So that's actually what sets it apart from being a fixed style. So we just have this easily movable style. You can see accommodating for our different kayak needs. I'm gonna go ahead and give it one of its utmost positions here to give you guys some quick little dimensions. From the top of our roof bar, or I'm sorry, our roof rack here, to the very top of our J-style with that plastic at the very top, puts us right at 19.5 inches, maybe a smidge over that, as you guys can see, but definitely gonna be nothing too crazy. I think we're not gonna have too many troubles with drive through, as our Rogue isn't anything crazy too tall. However, you know, definitely could be an issue for some garage doors. So nice that we can actually collapse that down. That means we're not having to remove this nearly as much because we can utilize that teeth movement at the bottom to go ahead and collapse that down. And we can go ahead and take a quick look, see how much length we actually saved ourselves there. So our tallest point is actually gonna be right here now on that downloader. Give you guys a quick little look-see here. And puts us at 5 1/4 inches to the top there from our roof bar system. So I want to give you guys that just in case you have a different kind of roof rack system that you will be utilizing with this, kind of give you guys an idea of some of the dimensions. And one thing that's also great about this guy is the installation. Now, I think it's a pretty standard across the industry to have these kind of like bar swing systems to actually mount on here. But as you guys can see, we just have a simple little knob system here to actually tighten these on and off. So again, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, very easy to understand, but they do a good job of conforming to most bars. I think they're primarily designed for these aero bars, as you see here today, the elliptical shape being very easy to fit in that bar. However, it is gonna fit most of our standard bars, round, square, and factory, that you might have on our vehicle. Well, I think the downloader does a couple things excellently, right? We are getting that kind of front plate to really help us with that mounting, especially on the Rogue. It isn't anything too high, but it definitely is up there. I'm about 6'1", so I'm already kind of reaching above my head. So definitely something to keep in mind. A little bit of load assist can really go a long way. Now there are upgraded models of this too, where you can actually get the Insertment to actually get this and get a whole rail system if that's what we really need. However, I think the downloader itself is gonna do us just perfectly. I really like how we can actually collapse that down. So I think this really has a big advantage over those fixed styles, especially if you find yourself pulling in and out of the garage without wanting to take these down. A couple big disadvantages: no real security tie down with this guy. As you guys saw, we just have simple knobs that are holding it on there. However, that also makes it very easy to pull it off and throw it in the vehicle when we are at our destination. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the Malone Downloader Kayak Carrier here on our 2021 Nissan Rogue. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.